Erik ten Hag, what is happening in that left-hand position? I thought we bought Mazraoui because when we bought him, we were told that this guy can play on the left and can play on the right. Why is it that now, when there's such a huge leak on the left-hand side, we're not trying to sort it out? Mazraoui continues to hold down the right-hand side. There is literally absolutely no problems coming from that right-hand side. Yes, there was a moment in the game yesterday when these guys broke in the attack. Onana saved. It was on Mazraoui's side. Listen, it was saved. But then every time when it comes from the left-hand side, it's a goal. Why is that? Why are we not trying to fix that left-hand position? Why are we not putting Mazraoui there and then just putting Delo where he belongs? Because Delo looks like he doesn't belong in that left-hand position. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Dom Benito. Yes, the delusional fan, the fan that is Erik ten Hag in. Yes, I am going to own it, and I think it makes it easier for you because everything that I will say, you will know that, listen, this guy, he wants Erik ten Hag in because I'm sick and tired of going this back and forth. So I've picked the side. I've picked a side and I'm Erik ten Hag in until whatever happens. So, yes, Porto, Manchester United, 3-3. What a weird, cringe draw. Like, there was so much that went through that game, and that's what I'm going to unleash today. I'm going to first start off with my first thing, the thing that I believe I've been talking about since the beginning of the season. Something I believe I've been complaining about. Like, even though I have been Erik ten Hag in, that doesn't mean that he's exempted from criticism, right? That doesn't mean that because I support everything or I support him as a manager, that doesn't mean I can sit here and just watch him make mistakes and do anything and not say anything about it. No, that's the beauty about football, and that's the thing that we are in. We're at a moment in our lives where we can have an opinion about something. Now, Erik ten Hag, I support him. I back him. And I have my reasons. I think most of you know what my reasons are. I'm tired of going through this chopping and changing of managers. Erik ten Hag, I believe, is one manager that has not been given opportunity to settle. It goes deep. Like, I have a whole theory throughout. Like, I've got a whole thing about this Erik ten Hag thing. Like, especially with his time at Manchester United. And I don't believe that Erik ten Hag is solely responsible for our demise, as everybody else is putting it, because he's the manager. Yes, he's the face of the club. Yes, but that doesn't mean that all the problems, all the mistakes that are happening at Manchester United are his fault. And this is why I'm defending him. I'm not jumping on this bandwagon of everybody because, like, I understand that we're not performing to the abilities, to the best of our abilities. I understand that we're frustrated, and there's a little bit of impatience when it comes to us not scoring goals and all the work and how we began the season. That's the most important thing. But I must say that Manchester United is full of, like, history repeats itself a lot in Manchester United. And the fact that people don't realize that or pay attention to those sort of things, it kind of frustrates me. Now, like I said, I have a bone to pick with Erik ten Hag. And listen, you can decide to blame whoever you want, because I guess maybe you can blame Ineos as well. But I'm gonna put the hierarchy. I'm gonna put Erik ten Hag and everybody else that's not a player. I'm gonna put them on blast for this one. Because here's the situation. Luke Shaw, I think we knew that Luke Shaw was going to be out for some time. And at no point during the transfer window was there an attempt to get a left back. No attempt. Like, whatsoever. There was no attempt to go and look for a left back. And I can understand that because we're bringing in De Ligt and we're bringing in Mazraoui. Now, Mazraoui's profile as a fullback is that he can play both positions, both sides, almost like a utility. So my question is, and this is the thing that I've been losing my mind, because 95%, if not like most of our goals, not saying that they started on the left, but they come from the left hand side. There's always some sort of problem that goes down on that left hand side that creates or gives an opportunity for a goal to be scored, whether it is be a cross, whether it be players not tracking back, whether it be being caught out of position, whether it be not blocking a cross immediately, not pressing the player and stopping the block. Like whether like this, it has always come from the left. And I remember watching Delo, because I noticed this new style. Well, I don't know, and this is the only criticism I'm really going to give Eric Ten Hag. Like, this is the one criticism that I will sit here and say, listen, I don't get it. Everything else that you guys are trying to do, whether like I get it, but this I don't. Delo is being used as a midfielder, or he's adding numbers or whatever. I don't know. Like almost like what Pep Guardiola does when he was deploying John Stones or Kyle Walker. Sometimes you see there's certain players that can fulfill that role, and I think this recently it's Akanji. You see, Akanji steps out of that defensive line and moves into that midfield role and plays it as if it's unique, it's different. I don't know if Eric Ten Hag is trying to do that. That is not his philosophy. His philosophy is wingers bombing forward and high press possession. That is what Eric Ten Hag brings. For some reason, I'm finding Delo in the midfield like a defensive midfielder. I'm seeing him bombing forward, and this is my problem with Delo, and people don't understand. They think I'm hating on Delo. Like, I love Delo. Like I said, he's a professional. But I just don't get his end product. Be it his crosses, be it his defending, I don't get it. Because when he has the ball and he's moving, or let's say I don't know, like, there's so many moments this season I've seen Delo take the ball, pushing it with it. Like, he's taking it like a midfielder, driving it forward and then losing it. And I ask myself, what was the purpose of all of that? And he loses it and he's caught out of position. And everybody else at the back there is also caught out of position, and everybody's scrambling back to try and get back. And we're always losing. So I don't understand this thing that he's trying to do with Delo. You look at yesterday's game, it was clear as night and day. Everybody, and it's so crazy that people started noticing it yesterday. And it has been happening throughout the season. It has been happening throughout this entire season. Something is not right. Now, Mazraoui, why isn't he playing at that left back position? Because when we bought him, when they introduced the profile of player, they told us that this guy can play on the left and play on the right. You look at the way Delo is bombing forward. Clearly, he's being told that he needs to move forward, right? But he's doing it on the wrong side of the pitch. Mazraoui doesn't really bomb forward. Like, he's keeping his position. He's sitting there doing his thing. And it's almost like the instructions are like, listen, don't go, you go. Now, if that is the case, why don't they swap? Why doesn't Mazraoui come to the left and just hold it down? Because that's what we want him to do. Hold it down. And Delo can go and do his stuff on the right. Like, he can go, because the problem is you're putting Delo in the wrong position. We are hating on Delo, and we're not, like, there's this, like, okay, maybe I should speak for myself. I'm getting annoyed with Delo, but it's not Delo's fault because he's been put there. It's Eric who's putting him there. I'd rather you put him on the right, and if Delo continues to be caught out of position and what on his right hand side, then listen, I rest my case. I rest my case in the Delo debate. But right here, right now, we need to sort out these things. Our defense yesterday, I'm sorry, I've been praising them. throughout the season. I've been praising them even last season. Last season, I praised them because I said, listen, even though we were in a very shattered team, our defense tried. They tried. Our strikers did fuck all. You know, last season, not this season. But they tried. But yesterday, oh my God, it was a disaster masterclass. A defensive disaster masterclass. It was like the only defender I'm gonna give credit to is Mazraoui. I'm giving credit to only Mazraoui. And I know maybe you're like, oh, maybe you're gonna say De Ligt. De Ligt was good, but there were certain mistakes that he made that I'm trying to make my point in the fact that the defense was not it. Martinez was not it. Delo, I don't even want to talk. And then we move into the midfield. You look at that midfield in the starting lineup and you'll be like, listen, this is the midfield that got us third position the first Erik ten Hag season. But after that team, it disintegrated. What's going on? Why is there Eriksen, Bruno, and Casemiro in that midfield? I was surprised. But at the same time, in my mind, I was like, all right, let's see let's see how that goes. Because for some reason, at this present moment, I think one of our most informed midfielders is Eriksen. You know, like he is doing everything right, which is weird. Not weird because you'd expect Casemiro to be ticking again also, or firing in the same cylinders. Bruno firing on the same cylinders. You understand what I mean? Ugarte firing on the same cylinders. No, the on-form midfielder for us right now is Eriksen. He seems to be the one that's handling the ball well, that's creating like it's almost vintage old school Eriksen. The Eriksen that we like, the fantasy of buying Eriksen, like he's coming out and doing his thing. The only problem with Eriksen, no legs. He needs support. So that midfield, though it was a surprise, you know, I wasn't really too taken aback because I was like, maybe. But clearly a lot of people had a problem with it. And there was a problem because it kind of got overrun. Casemiro had his moments of disaster. You know, Bruno, I don't know. So my next player that I want to go in is Bruno Fernandes. My captain, my skipper. Yes, Magnifico, I am not happy. Like, I am not happy with the way Bruno is conducting himself. How the hell is Bruno finding himself in a position where he's getting 2 consecutive red cards? How? You're the captain of Manchester United. How are you in those positions? I get it. The first one against Tottenham, that was not a penalty. I mean, that was not a red card. But then his move, everything that he did was unnecessary. Why did he put himself in that position? Why was he trying to be over ego, do whatever? Why does he find himself in those unscrupulous positions? Like, why does he find himself in those fucking places? I don't understand it. As a Manchester United captain, you need to hold yourself to a certain level or a certain esteem. And I am not happy with Bruno. You look at yesterday's thing. Yesterday, everybody's complaining. People are saying, no, it was not a red card. What? That was a high boot. If anything, that was a second yellow for Bruno. So he's gone either way. So I don't know. First of all, what I don't know is, was it a straight red or was it a second yellow? Because either way, he's gone. High boot, he doesn't touch the player. He's gone. We don't play football like that. And then he wants to be petulant. And then he wants to moan that they've called the foul on him. And nah. Don't put yourself in those positions. You're the captain of Manchester United, bro. Like, Bruno, there's something wrong. I don't know what, I don't want to speculate. I don't want to go too much into it. But something is not right. Bruno is not Bruno. And he needs to be dropped. He needs to be dropped like a fucking anchor. Like, dropped and almost forgotten. Because this, okay. Despite the red card, what else did Bruno do to impact that game? Yeah, he had these moments. But what that wasn't a Bruno performance. We know what a Bruno performance is. And I was holding back because I was like, I love my Bruno. Bruno's my favorite player at Manchester United. I think I've told you guys so many times. Pastor D knows that. He's my captain. He's my Magnifico. like I have got the most highest of highest expectations of Bruno when it comes to Bruno. I'm not messing about when it comes to Bruno. So to see him go start the season the way he has started, not be happy with his performance, and then for him to be doing this, two red cards. Two red cards. Like, if you guys don't think there's something like a cry for help or something is wrong, I don't know. But something is just weirding me out, and I want Bruno to be dropped. Like, hard. I won't lie to you. I was surprised that he won the appeal against Tottenham because I really wanted him to be benched. I really wanted him to be dropped. Put Eriksen there. Let's see. Let's figure something out. Let's see if Bruno is the reason why we're not ticking. Because it's unbecoming. It's unbecoming. Bruno, no. No, I am not happy. I'm not having it. But you know what? I love him. He had his moments. He put in some wicked crosses. He did some things in there. But nah. It's not enough. It's not enough for a captain of Bruno. No. Not a player of Bruno's caliber. I refuse. So with Bruno, I'm absolutely disappointed in him. Very, very disappointed in him. Let's go into the substitutions, everything that went down. Okay, he takes out Marcus Rashford, which was surprising because first of all, when Garnacho was in, I was thinking, who's coming off? I didn't know. I thought it was going to be Ahmad, and I was already going to be like, this is so fucking unfair. But you know what? I get it. Rotation, whatever. You know, boom, Rashford goes off. And I'm like, the balls. Because I also thought that maybe Rashford was injured. And can I just say this? And I know people are not going to mention this, but Rashford looked burned out that game. He did his best running when he did what he did, but towards the end of that half, like midway, he was already tired. Like he was breathing heavily. So listen, Eric Ten Hag can say, yeah, he's trying to rotate, he's trying to keep him fresh for Aston Villa. I get that. But somehow I'm thinking they dropped this guy because he looked tired. And they didn't want to risk anything else. Because, bro, you look at the amount of running that Garnacho did when he came on in that second half was so much compared to what Rashford did. It was. And I'm not saying that the running should have shown this, because Rashford scored a goal and he also provided an assist. But you need more. I don't know if I'm mad. You need more. We need more. Why is Ugarte on the bench? 60 mil, the guy that we were waiting for him to come and solve our situation. What's happening? These are the questions that the Ten Hag out brigade are going in. Like, they are not having. They're not having it. And you keep on digging. Maybe you're keeping Ugarte for Aston Villa. If you are, cool. Because we drew against Porto. Now, if we're going to draw and get a win against Villa, then he's vindicated. Then everything that he has done makes sense. Like, he had a plan. He should be given credit to it. But if we go and lose, like if we go in there and just start getting battered, like for example, let's say we got smashed yesterday, that would have been a different story. Lucky we drew. Thanks to Harry Maguire, salute. And then you go to Aston Villa and then we get belted again. Like, it's going to be like, dude, all these decisions that you made throughout this week were just fuck all. Like, made no sense. So where are we right now? So I understand. He said he dropped Rashford. Not he dropped him. He took him out because he needs fresh players. Aston Villa. So Aston Villa, Rashford is starting. I don't know if Rasmus Højlund is going to start that game as well, but I think maybe Xerxes will. And then Garnacho or Ahmad at the midfield. Bruno, since he's still there, I think he will start, which hurts my feelings because I would rather have a Mount there or an Eriksen there, and then Ugarte, Casemiro, or Meno, or the rest. You know what I mean? Because Bruno, at the present moment, seems to be a problem. And you know what will send me off the rails? You know what will actually make me combust and burst into flames and just is if seeing Bruno perform the way he's performing right now. In fact, Aston Villa goes there and has one of those shit games again where he misplaces passes, just couldn't be asked. even gets a red card. Let's just say he goes and has a bullshit game. And then he travels for his international break and starts having like 8 out of 10 games. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind because there is no way I'm accepting that. There's no way I'm accepting that. Not from Bruno. I can take that from Pogba and everybody, not from Bruno. I refuse. So that will make me combust, like if I think about it. Eric Ten Hag yesterday made some very weird changes. Now I don't want to call them weird because I'm not a manager. I'm a human being. I'm a fan. He was in the situation, so I don't want to judge him too much on that. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "But that's a cop out, Ben." No, it's not because he's a manager. If you understand the pressures of being in the game, I think you would understand. And I think the substitutions that he made yesterday, yes, though they were cringy, like there was a positive that came out of it. Harry Maguire scored the equalizing goal. And that wouldn't have happened if Eric Ten Hag had kept De Ligt and Martinez in. That's a fact. We would have lost that game. Now, we're not saying that Harry Maguire, no, he substituted his centre backs because maybe he felt that they were tired. And these are the centre backs that are probably going to start against Villa. You understand? So bring in Harry Maguire, bring in Evans. Let them come and hold it down. Woo! Harry Maguire goes there and, wins the game for us beautifully. I celebrated. I was happy. I took this draw because it's not easy to go to Porto and take a point there. And the funny thing is, Porto didn't look very scary. They didn't. Like, if our boys really, really showed up, if they really, really turned up, we would have smacked Porto. Porto is not a very scary team. So you got to draw all day. I will take a point over nothing. Every day, I'll take a point over nothing. And I celebrated, though I had a problem with everything, with a lot of things that happened. Eric Ten Hag, my bone pick with Eric. I've said this since the beginning. And I even mentioned that you look at last season, Delo was misbehaving like this as well. Was misbehaving like this as well. There was one particular game where I think kickoff happened and Eric Ten Hag had not even walked out of the dressing room. He was still walking to the pitch, like going to take his seat. And we'd kicked off, and I think we'd conceded a goal or something like that. You look at that game, Delo is responsible. And that game for me stood out big time because he was in the most, like, for a defender or for, when you're taking every player for his position, he was in the worst place that he could have ever found himself in. And that carried on until this season. And that bothers me. There was that one game where we put Delo back on the right side. I don't know which game it was. I forgot. But it was this season. We put him there. And lo and behold, Delo was better. Like he was back to himself. On this left-hand side, it's a mess. It is a mess. He's not pressing, he's not charging the players. He's allowing these guys to get these crosses off. He's ball watching. He's pushing forward, no purpose. His final ball is useless. It never gets there. Like, Delo's final third ball is like a unicorn. If he gets it right and it meets the guy and it goes in, it's like, it's beautiful. But that move comes like once in a blue moon or whatever you want to call it, like in a light year or whatever. It never just comes. So the overall performance yesterday from the players, taking into consideration they are away, the team as well wasn't it, and this is what the Eric Ten Hag people want. Like I'm what's crazy? Watching that game yesterday, when we were down 3-2, I was just like burying myself in my hands because I was like, oh, whew, how am I going to face tomorrow? Like, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to face the world? And lo and behold, I wake up today, my phone is flooded with messages, people saying I am delusional. I am saying that Eric Ten Hag is the best manager. And, I get that it's banter, it's whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, I speak what I see. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I am delusional. Maybe I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing, especially the Ten Hag outers. And I'm sorry for that. And unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, I'm still gonna back him until Ineos get rid of him or do something about it. And again, can I just say this? If Ineos sack Eric Ten Hag this season, I don't know what you guys are going to have to think or say about that, because to me, that would just be Ineos lying to us. Because think about it. Ineos, though we gave them pressure to give Eric Ten Hag the job, they still had the choice to bring him in. They still were the final say in bringing Eric Ten Hag in the summer, giving him a new contract. They were the ones. Yes, there was pressure from us fans, or some of the fans. Yes, winning the FA Cup meant that it ticked something in his box, meaning like, listen, let him stay. You understand? Everything just made, everything was the way it was. But at the end of the day, Ineos had an opportunity to either sack him or give him a new contract. And they gave him a new contract. We're moving into this zone that we're in. This is why I'm just like, I'm Eric Ten Hag in. I'm going to keep on criticizing his game. But at this moment, I don't see the point of the noise. It's annoying. I mean, the other things, I just feel like it's almost personal attacks, because at the end of the day, it's not my decision. Ineos told us that they're going to stick with this manager. They've come and backed him up. You understand? I don't know what pressure they're feeling, but they said they're sticking with the manager. So if they sack him, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about that. I don't know if you're going to think that, should we trust Ineos? Because these are the people that come here saying that, listen, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to trust the gaffer. The gaffer seems like he is confident. You know, like we're sitting here, we're discussing with the guys, like we're together. So they can't feed us that, because that kind of narrative, that was a Glazer kind of narrative. I don't know if some of you remember, where it's like everything is all good and then boom, you know, the bombshell is dropped, the players lost, this, everything just goes to shit. And then the manager's sacked, and then we're just sitting there thinking, nah, we're moved into a new era of Manchester United. And Ineos are spearing that. And one of their things is like, we need to listen to them. So if they say they're going to back Eric Ten Hag, then they should back him. This other noise and other nonsense that's coming out, like, it's really, really messing with the flow. It's creating, I don't want to say it's destabilizing the club, but I feel like it's bringing in negative energy around the club, and I don't want to be part of that. I want to be part of the positive. Manchester United, like, since the first game we played, we saw something. There was a spark. There was something. I swear there was something. And with every other player that we brought in, those players were supposed to come in and enhance us. Now we find ourselves in this position where we're asking ourselves, what's going on? Everybody else is looking at Eric Ten Hag and blaming him for chance creation, blaming him that we are not scoring, blaming him that we're not defending well, blaming him that we're like, really? Really? Only the gaffer is to blame for everything that's going on. Yeah, he's the face, but really? You're not going to blame our forwards for being wasteful, Bruno for being wasteful, for being complacent. Like, when are we going to reach that position? When are we going to reach that place? So for me, like I said, I support Eric Ten Hag. I still believe like he's the man. I really do. And you can call me delusional. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me, I don't care. I'm sticking with this manager until he is let go. I'm not going to do this thing of just, like, it's very easy to scapegoat the manager. Very easy. I remember Arteta at Arsenal. I think he took 8th position twice. I think Arsenal, they didn't play in Europe for, it's It's crazy. People think Arsenal and this Arsenal has just came from nowhere. And I remember that season, and I remember speaking to certain Arsenal fans, telling them that, listen, you guys not being in Europe is good. It's good. It gives you guys an opportunity to work on your football. It does. And I even said I wouldn't be surprised if these guys come back strong. And that's next season. They were a problem. That's when they mounted their first title charge. I wasn't surprised. Everybody else was surprised. Chelsea went through the same thing. Chelsea are playing better now because those players were given an opportunity. I complained. I was telling Pastor D that, listen, I don't want us to compete in Europe. I don't. You see yesterday's game on Thursday against FC Porto? Like, if we didn't have that, we would have been working on Aston Villa. Let Villa work on, because they're playing Champions League, right? Right now we're complaining that no, Villa has had one more day to rest, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if we're not in Europe, we wouldn't have been worrying about that. We wouldn't have been. You guys would have had all the time in the world to work on the football, like to shape it, to get your identity back. Like, there would have been no excuses if that was happening. But Manchester United, for some bloody reason, I don't get it. Somehow we just make it into Europe. We just make it all the bloody time. Be it Europa, be it Champions League, we're there. Then there's no opportunity for us to work on our game. And Erik ten Hag, whether you want to believe it or not, he has not had an opportunity to sit down with these players and work with them for like 3 months straight without any interruption, without anything disturbing him from implementing his game. Nothing. He has not had that opportunity. He came in, already took a team that was already shit, like disaster, tried to mold it in his own image. Boom, next season, disaster fell on him again. Bruh, now this season, we're trying to, you know what I mean? So he has never had an easy sail at Manchester United. Unfortunately, it's Manchester United. Manchester United, the expectations are so high. They're so great, unfortunately. So whether you try to build something, whether you try to how can I say this? Whether you try to implement your style of play or your football or whatever, the expectations are always going to be greater. Always. And Erik ten Hag finds himself in that position. Erik ten Hag finds himself in that position where, like, he has to navigate this storm, this hurricane. Like, it's mad. Because that's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing wind. Woo. That's how I'm seeing Erik ten Hag. And he's in there, you know, with the players behind him, you know. Like, that's how I'm seeing Erik ten Hag, you know. And all the wind and stuff is mixed with the drama. That's the drama. That's the noise from outside. You know, that's the punditry, ex-players, all that other bullshit, not having an opportunity to train. And he's there with his shield, walking in that storm. Category F5, bro. He's there. And these players are behind him, hiding. You know, some of them are like this, hiding right behind him. Some of them, they're like, hey, Gaffer, we're there with you. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's really disappointing. It's disappointing. But Erik ten Hag needs to get certain things right. Like that defense, like that left back position, I am so happy and grateful that people are seeing it now. Like, it's too little, too late, but yeah, I'm glad that people are seeing it. And I kid you not, I saw this from the beginning of the season. First fucking game, I was like, what is this? What is this? This makes no sense. I sounded the alarms. And I'm like, for me, that is my only pet peeve with Erik ten Hag. Because he always talked about balance. He always talked about he wants, you know what I mean? For some reason, I don't know how he's not seeing that we are not balanced on that left-hand side. I don't know what instructions he's giving Delo. Because I don't think Delo is acting with no instructions. That is my thing. I don't think what Delo is doing is out of his mind. Because if it is, oh my God, then we have a bigger problem than actually we thought. But I believe he's being told to do that. By who? It has to be Eric. It has to be. Now, it works if it works. But if it doesn't work, it becomes a problem. It becomes a serious, serious problem. So Bruno needs to get his act together. The low situation Eric needs to sort ASAP. Strikers, we need to score more. We need to create more chances. Yesterday we created chances, but it wasn't enough. Like it's not good. The defense as a whole, yesterday was not your good game. It wasn't your best game. It really, 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 really wasn't. And I'm really looking forward to Lenny Yoro coming back. I'm really looking forward. Like I don't know. I'm waiting for that day because he is our best defender. I've said this. This is not the first time I'm saying it. Lenny Yoro is Manchester United's number one defender. Just so you know. And I saw a little bit of him. Like I saw just a little pincy thing. And I knew already that this defender, there is a reason why Real Madrid were hunting him down. There is a reason. This boy is elite, he's class. And I can't wait for him to get back. I can't wait. Martinez, the butcher, is looking a little sus. I don't know. You know, like I remember Pastor D saying that I don't know, keep sell. I think he threw in Martinez in there, if I'm not mistaken. Now I don't know if he'll correct me, but I forgot if it was because of Martinez's injury. I think it had to be because of his injury, because I was also in that camp of the injury. But right now he's not looking too good. De Ligt, I don't want to go too much on him because he's getting a lot of flack, and with De Ligt, I'm gonna give him time. I remember De Ligt was a player that I really wanted at Manchester United that time. Then he had to go to Juve, Bayern. It's fine. He's not at Manchester United. He's not his best De Ligt self, but I believe Manchester United is the right club for him to revive his career. I really believe that this guy is going to be a stellar defender for us. I really do. I'm just waiting for Euro. Euro is going to come and add a little bit of energy. Luke Shaw, we hear that there's a little bit of a setback with him, which is also another weird thing that I don't get. I think the hierarchy right now needs to start looking for a left foot. Like they need that. Or give Amas a chance. Because we don't get it. Amas, during preseason, held his own against Mo Salah. Even though Mo Salah took him to the shops and back, he sent him to go and wash his car a couple of times. But he held his own. Amas is a different, he's a different profile of, he's different from Luke Shaw, he's different from Delo, he's different from Malacia. He's exciting. We had this conversation in the group where we're talking about, like, for me personally, I don't understand why Manchester United is the one club that doesn't trust kids. I don't get it. And I understand. I kind of get it, but I don't get it. Because the pride of Manchester United is the academy. It literally is. Like, one of our biggest, like, pride is the youth. We take so much pride in the youth. If you look at the talent that is going to burst out of the Manchester United academy this season, next season, seasons to come. Oh my God. It'll be weird if we don't have like okay. The point I was trying to make is, in Barcelona is the one team that I can give you as the best example, because they trust their players from La Masia. You look at that defender right now, they are center back. They have a defense center back, Pau Kubasi. Kubasi is 17 years old, and this kid is playing like he's been playing, like prime. I don't even know. Like, he is doing the business. Amas has already gotten a taste. He plays for the under-23s. Why can't we give him an opportunity with the he plays for under 23s or for under 18s? Plays for under 23s. Because if he's already playing with us and training with us, it means that he's one step away. So he's playing for under 23s. Why isn't he being indoctrinated into the club? Why isn't he hanging around? Why aren't we seeing much of his name? Because the law, bro, either that or take Maz and put him on the left. Take the law and put him on the right. Because this is not working, Eric. And this Ugarte situation, you did mention, like in the beginning of this, like before Ugarte arrived, or just when Ugarte arrived, you did mention that it's going to take time to bring him in. I remember those words. I remember that press conference. And I remember sitting there thinking, shit, because I've always been of the camp of, like, I believe South American players are the players that can come from South America, right, or play in the South. But okay, there's an argument he was playing in the Farmers League and the French League, which is different. And then, but he played in the Copa. Anyway, there's an argument to be said that players from South America find it easy to adapt in the Premier League because the intensity and the energy and the physicality of the game are literally almost the same. So I was expecting Ugarte to fill in, but some reason he didn't. And it was evident in his game. Yes, he showed us a glimpse of what he can do, but he looked slow. He was looking tired. And these are things that Eric Ten Hag was talking about. Like, he's always talking about, listen, we need him to come in and integrate. I don't know, man. I don't know. Something is a little bit off. I don't think he is ready. Yes, I think we need to give him time. Just like Casemiro. Casemiro was a little bit rusty when we had him. He was rusty, but he found his rhythm and he started doing the business. So I'm expecting the same with Manuel Ugarte. I really am. That's why I'm not going too much on Ugarte, because there's no way we can spend all summer, all fucking transfer window speaking about this guy who's going to change, who's going to revolutionize our midfield. Like, give our midfield the necessary muscle so that we can go out there and do the business. And then we're sitting him on the bench. No ways. No fucking ways. Because that's what we did with Casemiro when he came, bought him from 60 mil from Real Madrid, put him on the bench. Ugarte, the same shit. We're putting him on the bench. In a game like yesterday, you would have needed the pit bull of Ugarte, to be biting at those players in that midfield. Casemiro was missing balls there and there. Bruno was atrocious. The only guy that's giving it to me the way I like it is freaking Eriksen. It's Eriksen. And I say Eriksen should play all the games until the wheels fall off, because we do know eventually he's gonna get injured. Just wait. Anytime soon, Eriksen will be out for a very long time, and we're gonna miss him. We're gonna be like, oh my God, Eriksen. Oh, when he was fit. That's what we always do. Like, that's where we're headed. Eriksen, when he's fit, he's a good player. He's doing the business right now. So let's play him until the wheels fall off. Gets injured, we put him in the rehabilitation place, gets back, whatever, then we figure it out. But right here, right now, Eriksen needs to be in that starting 11. He's the only midfielder I'm seeing with a purpose. And mind you, he's the same player that came out against FC Twente and gave it to the players. We're not good enough. I like Eriksen. I like this Great Dane. I like the Great Dane. So yeah, I wasn't happy, but I was happy we drew, but I wasn't happy with the performance. I was particularly not happy with Bruno Fernandes. I was not happy with Diogo Dalot and Martinez, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't. De Ligt, he had his moments of weirdness, and I was just like, bro, you need to calm down. I wasn't particularly angry with Casemiro and Eriksen. I didn't like Bruno at all. I didn't. Rashford, for me, yes, he scored the goal. Yes, he showed some energy. I need more. I don't want Rashford, because part of that left-hand side not working is him not tracking back. It is. Rashford not tracking back to help is a huge fucking deal. But we don't want to go into that conversation because now it's Eric's fault, right? Like we don't wanna bring down Marcus Rashford now because he's been told he's dealing with striking duties. But even with the striking duties, just one goal, it's not enough. Do you see where my problem comes in? When somebody is given the privilege to do something, then he just does the bare minimum. And then when it comes to helping the team, they do less than the bare minimum. It's like, what the fuck, bro? So, yeah, Eric, we're not happy with that left side. You need to sort it out because that's one. We have been found out. We have been made. People know. On Sunday, Leon Bailey is going to be, my God. Oh, that Jamaican is going to terrorize. is going to terrorize Delo. I don't want Delo to bomb forward. I don't. He should stop. Just focus on the defending. Don't go forward. Don't add. Because Rashford is doing that. Rashford doesn't come back to help you, my friend, when it comes to defending. He doesn't. So don't help him attack. Don't. Focus on keeping a clean sheet. Focus on not being blamed for conceding goals. Focus on that. This is why I appreciated Wan-Bissaka. Because his number one focus was keeping goals out of the post. That's what our defenders should be thinking. But no. We have the opposite. Our defenders want to bomb forward. They want to leave our plays open. And, you can only say that they're getting that instruction from the gaffer. And with the gaffer, with that being said, I'm sorry. That one, you have to take it. But I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm Eric out. Nah. I still support the gaffer. I still want him to do well. I just don't know what his fate is. I don't know. I'm tired of hearing if he doesn't win this game, he's gonna be out. The media have created these scenarios and like they've created these points that if Eric does this, he'll be sacked. Nah. Just listen to Ineos. If they want Eric Ten Hag to be sacked, he'll be sacked. Simple as that. You don't need to create these narratives. You don't need to come here and start saying we're delusional. Nah. It's not in our hands. It's not. It's also not in Eric Ten Hag's hands. So, yes. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And yeah. Eric Ten Hag in. Peace.